Thank you a bunch, Tiny Tim. If you do want to donate to help us support Gosh, all you need to do is !donate in the chat, or you can click on the Tiltify extension down below, or for a third option, in case you're feeling really fancy, what you could do is scan the barcode that is on the stream overlay. Great Ormond Street Hospital is a fantastic charity. They are trying to help treat and look after kids and young people with incredibly complex illnesses and diseases that they necessarily wouldn't be able to get treatment for elsewhere. So please do donate if you can. With all that said, I'm going to throw things over to HUDs. Please just give me a countdown whenever you're ready for me to start the timer.
No problem at all. Welcome everyone. It's chaos here. It's utter chaos, cat-related chaos. How's everyone doing? My name's HUD601. I am back again to run straight for you to close out day one of UKSM. Lovely to be back. First of all, I'd like to introduce my commentators to you. We have Mindez. Hello.
Hello.
And we also have CBK.
Hi there. Hello.
You may see from the camera, Ted has decided to join us for this run. He is sat on my desk, obstructing my ability to get to my keyboard, which is somewhat important because in this run, I use both a controller, I use mouse, and I use keyboard, all sometimes at the same time. So this is going to be a very interesting cat % run. So, yeah. I don't really know what else to say about it. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be chaos. A couple of things to point out to you before we get started, though. Firstly, I am running a cat skin mod, which means that this run would be invalid for the leaderboards because we're not allowed to use mods, but it's fun to do it during the run. For those of you that know my cats, Ted here, I also have another one called Alfie, and because Alfie's not in the room, we thought we'd run as Alfie today. I've already mentioned some of the speed tech, controller, mouse, and keyboard. I am using an officially sanctioned macro as well that allows us to replicate free scrolling scroll wheels. That's where you can basically scroll the scroll wheel really, really fast, and it inputs thousands of times per second. We have an official macro that allows us to replicate that on keyboard and controller. I am using that for this run. So if it looks like I'm skipping dialogue super, super quick, like beyond human capability, that is why it is allowed for the run. Anyway, this is going to be a glitchless run. We are going to get this thing underway. We start off with a cutscene, so we will start in 3, 2, 1, go. Ed is very much asleep on my keyboard.
Yeah. So this is Stray. The beginning part of it is the prologue. Yeah. When they were designing this game, they really knew what people wanted to be a game that basically was marketed around playing as a cat. Because we're going to start off with some very, 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 very cute animations. Because we're going to see this little family of cats just playing together. It's really cute.
Multiple audios, and I'm not. Oh no, that's my bad. Sorry. I fixed it.
All good?
Yeah, we're all good. We're all good.
Yep. So we start off playing as this cat here. We're going to go around and talk to the cats in a very specific order. We're going to talk to the right one, the one at the front, and then the one on the left.
Apparently we talked to one at the front because it didn't register my input. Excellent. Great start. I'm blaming you, Ted, for this.
We've already lost a second on this run just by talking to the cats out in the right order, unfortunately, but that's fine. A whole second.
How will I survive?
Oh, wait, have the other cats got a mod on them as well? Or no, they're all the regular colours, right, aren't they?
Yeah.
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 So we're going to talk to... Oh, go on.
There are a lot of mods on this game for the different cats, and we'll probably talk more about some of the other mods throughout this run, but this is a mod that makes the cat look like Alfie, which is one of this cats.
Yes,
I stand on the cardboard here, spam my action button, and that causes Alfie here to lie down. All the cats are now sound asleep as we go to another lovely cutscene. So the one thing you're going to notice with this run is that there's quite a lot of cutscenes in this. So it is a fairly chill run. So after all the speed of Argic and Spark the Electric Jester, we're going to nicely ease you out of day one of the marathon here. A nice relaxing cat.
Yeah, the game is so gorgeous as well. I just love it. It's like the environments, the cat. It's so lovely. When I first played this, I was just like so happy. straight away.
It's honestly, it's
it
a
really is.
beautiful game. The sound design is gorgeous, like the actual game design as well. The story is so gripping. Like there's so much to explore in this world, and you'll see as we go through. We skip a huge amount of what there is in this world to get through this run as fast as possible. To basically get through this whole game in about an hour and 20 minutes. So yeah, it's just incredible. I love it.
Yeah, so we see a like kind of abandoned, almost post-apocalyptic looking kind of sewer area here, all dried up. And the first chapter is called Inside the Wall. Now, notice the on-screen like text there. That's actually a language that is in this game, and each of the title cards for each of the chapters spells out something different. The title card for this one spells out the word blue in the weird like language of the game. And in this first level, most of the levels in this game, in fact, are fairly linear. It's just about getting from point A to point B and making your movements as efficient and fast as possible. And this first level is no exception. So we're going to be running along and taking in all the environment. It's pretty much a tutorial level in that we're gonna get some prompts that teach us how to meow, how to jump, how to do chain jumps, and we're just trying to get to the trigger point for the next cutscene as pretty much as fast as possible.
One thing I love is that there is a dedicated meow button. When I found that out, I thought it was amazing.
Absolutely. The best thing about the dedicated meow button is because most of the cutscenes are in engine, and that means that you can spam the dedicated meow button in most cutscenes as well. It's great. Taking some jumps there. Skipping the corners and going underneath the railings there, that saves a couple of seconds just to really maximize the efficiency of where you're jumping from and to. There's a lot of that in this run.
You have no idea how hard I'm trying right now to switch between controller and mouse and not wake Ted. I'm trying to keep the controller absolutely still so that the cable doesn't wake him either.
Yeah, this is so you use both the controller and the keyboard and mouse for this run, right?
Yes, I switch between all three for various things.
Yeah.
Cutscene here. Heartbreaking cutscene.
Absolutely heartbreaking cutscene. Which one of us is going to say it is the question.
I think it's CBK's turn.
Okay. Long live the king. This actually, I think when I first played this, I actually teared up when I watched this scene. Oh. It's so horrible. The little.
Yep. And we see our cat fall down into this dark and dirty, basically trash heap area.
By the way, I'll do my best to mute myself if I start coughing. I apologize to everyone in chat. I am a little bit ill at the moment. I've got a bit of a tickly throat, so I'm doing my best, but yeah, apologies.
Alright. Oh, he's limping and he's gonna make it. Oh.
This next chapter, city. Yeah, it's going to start out with us here in the this trash heap as some old technology wakens up.
Story kind of gets unraveled slowly. We get bits and pieces of things to this little creature here, which we'll see more of later.
It's all right. This is a very resilient cat. So even after a nice long fall and barely being able to walk, a quick lick and there we go. We're back to walking fine.
He's resilient. He's got 9 lives.
Yeah, that might have used one of them, to be fair.
I mean, it's a pretty long fall.
Yeah.
In the dead city now.
Ed is not happy at the talk of losing a life. It's stared down right now. So as we start to
Yeah.
work our way through the Dead City, you can see the signs being illuminated. This game has this really incredible design where it doesn't explicitly tell you things. It very subconsciously guides you through, you know, very subtly guides you through the city.
I love the kind of the design of the UI as well. There's like nothing cluttering the screen. It's very like simple. You know, the controls are simple to work out. It's just all about the story and the visuals. That's really nice.
Absolutely, like the way it just uses the environment to just direct you where to go, like with signs that have arrows on as if they're like pointing to a shop, but it's actually telling you where to go. There was a sign there that was just purely for the purpose of like just environmental storytelling. It was like just the words "help" were lit up. It's a really cool like introduction to this kind of world, this kind of dystopian industrial kind of as a post-apocalyptic looking city.
I love that you can
very densely
interact with things. Like knocking the buckets off.
Oh yeah, I mean, even though the city is clearly not alive at the moment, it feels alive. Like, it's very immersive. The way you can knock into things, you know, the way the environment reacts. These are legally distinct head crabs.
Yeah, so this is our first encounter with the Zerk.
And I could really do with reach my keyboard now, mate. Like, I need to press this button here.
No.
I'm really glad. Really glad I've tied this to my controller. So I've got the macro linked onto my controller as well. I really don't like using it on the controller because it's a bit of an awkward hand placement to do it, especially when I need to use the mouse as well for this chase scene. But yeah, Mindez, explain what's going on here with the meowing.
Yes, so this is our first chase segment. So you'll notice that the Zerk are attacking us as we're kind of running through. Occasionally one of the Zerk will land on the cats. There's kind of a lot of RNG in that. They are kind of avoidable, but not in like consistently. But we do have one weapon at our disposal, and that is meowing. So if we meow at the Zerk, it like causes them to back off. So even if they latch onto the cat, if you meow, they go away. Now, what this means is if you just meow fast enough, then the Zerk aren't really a problem. As soon as they touch you, they go off. So we used to use mouse wheels to just spam as many meow inputs as possible, but that gave a massive advantage to free scrolling mouse wheels. So the community's made a macro, and it's an official macro allowed in speedruns, that spams the meow button as fast as possible. And so Huds is making use of that to basically just constantly just spam the meow button, and so the Zerk really aren't much of a problem. So you didn't see him like slow down at all there, even when the Zerk were getting him.
We're heading to the flat now, right? That's the next part.
Working our way towards the flat. So we're running through Dead City here. So this is one of the first big platforming sections. It's also, if I'm honest, one of the sections I like least. And why? So it's all this little tricky platforming and jumping. One of the things that you may see at specific points during this run is that it's a little bit RNG. The cat can occasionally, when jumping, slip. Won't ever fall if you make a jump, but can slip. And a slip will cost you a few seconds, which in this run is incredibly, you know, difficult to get back. It's a very tight and very well optimized run. But yeah, all this platforming, you're liable to make easy mistakes. Also, the cat occasionally has a mind of its own and decides that it's not going to do the jump you want it to do. It's going to go completely else. So, go along this scaffold here. Oh, see. Squeeze down between. Lovely.
Yeah, there's some very difficult movement that has just pulled off there because the railing there really wants you to jump on top of it, which is slow. So going under that railing, it's very precise to just get in the right position so that when you jump, you go under it rather than over it. So yeah, that was really well done. And here we're going to be introduced to the concept of batteries. So you can take batteries out of sockets and put them into sockets to activate machinery. Not used a lot in the game, but it's used. It is used a lot in this particular chapter, which is the flat. And obviously, cat on keyboard.
Yeah, I love this bit. There's some interesting tidbits in this flat as well. Like in a casual playthrough, B12 can translate some of the things on the wall, and you can find out some information about the city. Like, it's called Wall City 99, and the year is at least 2190. It's quite fun to explore around the environments and find little bits of information.
Oh, where am I?
Hmm.
Oh my god, these are the worst things in the world. These back.
Yeah, so this is the flat. This is a particular room in the flat where you got to collect 4 batteries that are littered around the room and put them in these sockets. This was one of the hardest rooms to route for the speedrun because just getting to each of them efficiently and like plotting which ones to get first and which sockets to put them in took a lot of time. Like to actually put the batteries in the socket, the actual button input needs to appear on screen. So it's very easy to just put the battery down next to the socket because you like were slightly off with where you were positioned. But no, that was very fast, very well done. And here we have B12.
Special Aperture Sciences version of B12.
Even B12 has a mod.
There's any Portal fans out there that you may recognise some of this? This is where I now need to reach over you, Ted. Sorry, but if you're going to choose to like that. So again, I do have the macros on the bumper buttons on my controller, but it's a little finicky. It's definitely much better to use the keyboard. More reactive.
Yeah.
But you chose to lie there, mate.
I do love that we've got CatCam just seeing how Ted is just sabotaging this run and now attacking.
Okay, we're back to controller.
Legit sabotaging the run.
Ted does not want this run to happen.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
So we're skipping through the dialogue here. We're getting our backpack now.
We put the backpack on the cat and he just like doesn't want to entertain it.
Loop.
I love this how they've got it such like a real cat. It's amazing.
If you ever tried to put a harness on a cat and they just go real low and just like over dramatic, that's exactly what happens here. It's so cute.
What's my code? Ted, you sat on my code. What's the code?
3748.
I've run this game for 36 hours and I cannot remember the code, and my post-it's fallen under Ted.
Continuing to sabotage the run. All right, here we need to validate the run by spinning.
Very important.
That is absolutely no time save whatsoever, but it's incredibly important to do.
I literally just went and looked for the code. I looked in the corner, I was like, oh no, my post-it's fallen. I looked down, it's like, it's under his butt. That's an
the ground.
That's an interesting slip.
Ground, sure.
I have never had the cat slip on pure ground. Blaming you for this, Dad.
So we come here to a mural of what looks like a nice beach. And yeah, we get a postcard of the mural.
Yeah, so we're finding out some little bits about this robot B12 in the dialogue voice skipping. We're told it's the consciousness. B12 was monitoring the city and spotted the cat, and they were trapped in the electronic network. So that's kind of how the cat's been signaled to go there.
Absolutely, and here we're coming up to the slums. Now, this is the first chapter of the game that's not really about getting from point A to point B. This is much more of an open world style section. So we're going to start here going through these streets in a fairly linear fashion. But soon we're going to open up this whole area so that we can like properly explore and like really take in some of the environment. So as we come in over here, we see the robots running away from the cat. They seem to be clearly scared of the cat.
The music is so good in this bit. I love the OST. This one's my favorite.
Oh yeah. And there we see Guardian, who I think is the protector of the robots.
Don't give me evil eyes, Ted. You cost me 10 seconds.
Worth it.
And we're just gonna go up to Guardian, give a nice meow, and he'll look at us and realize we're not one of the Zerk as they thought we were, so they have no reason to be afraid of us as long as we don't eat them. So yeah, he's gonna signal the robots that it is in fact safe to come out.
These are the companions.
And these are the companions. Yeah.
They're really interesting personalities as well. They're great.
Yeah, so because of the open world style of this like chapter, you can run around and actually talk to all the companions, and yeah, they do properly have like personalities and lore, and it's just a really cool like storytelling section. Obviously, we're not going to do that in the context of a speedrun. We're just going to go to where we need to go, which is to go to 4 of these houses which have notebooks in.
So what we've been told to do in the story is to go up to a flat of Momo. So there's a group called the Outsiders who try to escape the city. All of them have gone missing except one who's left, and we're trying to retrieve notebooks for Momo to look at. I think from the Outsiders that left. There's 4 in total. We'll get.
Yep. I particularly love this particular house because you get to do what cats do and just knock things over, like knocking over these stacks of books.
Yeah.
So to get the
Go ahead, Mindez.
yeah, to get the notebook in this house, we need to go to the very back, get a key, and it's in this safe over here, which is behind a pile of books. So you have to knock the books over to get into the safe. You can do a lot of knocking stuff off walls in this game. It's great. They've really captured the cat experience.
There's also little like places you can sleep in as well.
I just decided to jump down. As soon as I get to a cutscene, I will move the camera so we get Loaf back on stream.
Oh, Ted's gone. No.
Right, we're gonna grab this battery. We're gonna head down through here. Notebook I like least because it's pure RNG where it lands. Thankfully, it kind to me this time.
Nice.
Yeah, so you knock over the boxes, it lands on a completely random spot on the floor. It's reasonably consistent, like roughly in front of you, but yeah, sometimes it can be a little bit like slightly behind you. And then we'll head over here up to Momo's house. So Momo is the only outsider that is still in the slums. The others have all left. And Momo is awesome. I love Momo with his rainbow screen.
Yeah, Mama's the best. Always sad. He misses his friends.
Yeah, so the outsiders, the group of four companions that want to get to the outside world, they've kind of all Momo at least they've kind of all like left to try and find the outside world. Momo's kind of given up hope and stayed in the slums. But bringing all these notebooks to him gives him a bit of renewed hope and lets him rebuild a transmitter, which is going to let us communicate with the other companions. So we need to put that transmitter somewhere up high that we can communicate with the other outsiders and go find them. And that brings us on to our next chapter here, which is the rooftops.
We're going to be climbing higher and higher here to get to the tower. It's more precarious.
Yeah, we're also going to find a lot of Zerk here. And there's some mechanics where we need to, or where we're supposed to, like roll, or trap them in a certain area using like gates that shut, or like roll a barrel on them to crush them. For the most part, we can just kind of ignore them. Yeah, there are a few areas where it can be a little bit RNG. So again, using these barrels to just place them so that we can climb up. You see as well this really cool mechanic is with momentum, where you jump onto a platform, the platform actually swings around because the cat's momentum jumping onto it, which is just a really cool like physical element that gets used quite a bit in this game. So here, these Zerk here are we're supposed to trap in the little thing off to the side. But you can just kind of ignore them and just run them over. And it doesn't really matter too much.
Where's my jump up?
I think not quite close enough.
Wait, what? I was definitely
That looks
close
like
enough.
it should be close enough.
Ah.
Alfie, make the jump. There we go.
There we go.
Alfie.
Unbelievable.
The jumps can be so finicky in this game.
Yeah, because you have to wait for the prompt on the ledge for the cat to actually jump up. You know, you have to be close enough. It's not like you can just jump anywhere in the game. The cat will only jump when there's a prompt. And yeah, sometimes it can, for example, that just jump in the completely wrong direction because it decides, no, you clearly mean you want to go over here and not up there. That's a little bit finicky, but we'll make it through.
It is, and when you're playing it casually, it feels really intuitive, and you just kind of like typically just jump to wherever you want to go. It's just when you're trying to, you know, speedrun and really optimize things that it's like when it's off by just a little bit, it's very noticeable.
So we have all this horrible like fleshy stuff around here. You do learn a bit of lore actually that so there was a company Neko Corp responsible for trash management, and as it overloaded the slums they tried to develop a bacteria to solve it all, and bacteria mutated, the humans disappeared, and this is kind of what where the Zerks come from. They've sort of mutated from this bacteria and started eating more than trash. I think.
Yeah, so this part here is really cool. This part's supposed to be a survival part, so you activate the switch and the elevator comes down, and we've got to wait for the elevator before we can jump on it. So then they send a bunch of Zerk after you. What we can do instead is just kind of sit here and just meow, and the Zerk can't really hit the cat. Well, sometimes they can, and they accidentally hit the cat, and you just see the cat jiggle.
Yeah, I love the animation of when they hit the cat, it's like wobbles.
Right, yeah, it's just a wobble.
Wobble, wobble, wobble. Wobble.
By far, like, it's just such an oversight that like they've left that that little platform that Zerk just can't get to you on.
That's funny.
Ted is not playing ball this run.
Oh, he's here.
Oh,
I have no idea what Ted's doing.
they're near the top of the tower now.
Yeah. So jumping over out of the elevator, and here we can place the transceiver, and we get another cutscene.
Oh.
And I think this is the first time we really truly get like an appreciation of the scale of this world and just how like densely packed it is, and get a proper like high up view of where we're trying to get to. So that up there is Midtown, and we're trying to communicate with there.
Ted for now.
We also learn quite a bit of lore from B12 here about the city and how it's called Wall City 99. And it was meant to be a shelter. The roof hermetically sealed.
He's decided to come sabotage my run again.
It's getting scritches.
This is the hardest speedrun I've ever done. I'm multitasking on so many levels here. So Ted, you'll have to wait now. Well, speedrun things to do.
So we're back in Momo's apartment now.
Yeah. So yeah, back in the slums. This is the slums part 2. And yeah, in this section we're going to have to do a bunch of the quests that we didn't do in part 1. So there's a bunch of optional things that you can do around the slums. We're going to do some of them in order to unlock the next area. So firstly, we're going to come over to Momo here, down in the bar.
Momo's using the bar's antenna to try and contact the other outsiders.
Yes.
bumped into Seamus.
Yeah, so Momo does manage to get in contact with one of the other outsiders, called Balthazar, who is on the other side of the sewers. But Seamus overhears us and says, "No, it's way too dangerous to go through the sewers." So we need to do a little bit of a kind of trade quest almost here. So firstly, we're going to see Huz head up to the top of the roof. He's going to distract these companions that are throwing paint tins so that they drop it. That's the first part of the trade quest. That's going to open up the door to the laundromat below, in which Huz is going to go and get a bottle of detergent. You're going to trade the detergent for some cables and take the cables over to the Grandma Companions so that the Grandma Companions can knit a poncho out of the cables, I think it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that we can keep one of the companion robots warm so that he can fix a machine for us when we get it. So there's a whole load of like stuff to do all around this like area.
Hey, do you know why they make the poncho out of cables? Because the cables are insulated.
Wow.
What?
I hate that that's probably right. So this over here is Seamus's house. Momo's going to knock on the door. We're not going to get a response, so we need to find another way in. Fortunately, there is a grate down here that Momo's going to open for us. This grate is also incredibly easy to glitch through, so staying back away from the glitch from the grate before to avoid going in. There's some interesting stuff happening in this room. So what we're going to do is scratch the painting off the wall. Don't go through the wall. Nice. So as you saw the cat jump away after scratching that painting. How far the cat jumps is based on the frame rate of the game. And if your frame rate is too high, the cat just literally jumps through the wall. So, like, if that happens, you literally have to limit your frame rate just in order to get into this room. Fortunately, managed to avoid it. I think your graphics card is running a little bit less efficiently today. This brings us to a hidden room in Seamus's house, where we find a tracker that unfortunately was broken. So we need to go get the tracker fixed, and that is why we now need to go and get the poncho so that the robot that can fix it is going to be warm enough to do so.
So Seamus has told us that his father is Doc, and Doc's gone to try and develop a weapon to defeat the Zerks, but never came back after going to test it. So maybe we can help do something about it. So we're gonna have a look at.
So we have traded the detergent now for the cables. That's a tracker. Wait. Oh, did I not get the
Oh, did you not get the...
No. Why didn't I get the cables?
You didn't get the cables.
Oh, did I made the wrong thing? Oh. I'm blaming Ted. He's distracting me so much.
No, that's
Right.
so polite.
Yep, there's the
There
cables.
we go. Right, now we got the cables. My bad. Okay, so traded the detergent for the cables with the tradesman. We're going over to Grandma. We're going to trade the cables and get Grandma to stitch them into the poncho, and then we can take the poncho and the tracker over. There we go. Cat?
You got in. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, we also learned a lot about like Doc was doing a lot of research. Doc's one of the outsiders, and Doc was doing a lot of research into the Zerk, and so that's obviously been very useful in building whatever weapon he's managed to build. And there's a lot of information on the whiteboard about the Zerks and how they eat all kinds of materials and they can see in the dark and react to intense light. So that's all going to play a part in what the weapon's going to be. So now that we've got the working tracker, we come back to Seamus, and Seamus is going to lead us on to the next area.
There's a really cool companion, I think it's in this area, that you can bring music sheets to. Is it Morris?
Yep.
But I love that one. You can just, yeah.
It's so good because he then like plays the music and you can just sleep next to him.
Yeah,
so cute.
it's so sweet.
We're going to follow Seamus for a little bit now. So, Matt, if you've got any messages, now's a great time to read them. We've got about probably half a minute or so.
We have indeed had a donation from Gopher. £20 donating for a great cause and because you guys all rock.
Aww.
Thank you, Gopher, for that donation. If you would like to donate, then all you need to do is ~ donate in the chat. It's for a great cause indeed. Great Ormond Street Hospital helping critically ill children to get better, or at least to help manage their situations. If you'd like to be a part of that, please do donate.
Thank you, Gopher. I nearly forgot to verify the run by getting the bag. Got to get the bag.
Yeah, I love that. And he has a bag on his head, the controls go all wonky.
Yeah.
Great.
So just like the bucket, it's very important to validate the run with useless things. I mean, sorry, I don't mean useless. I mean
Very important thing.
very important. Yeah.
Ted is lying and relaxing.
You just lounging now.
Okay, so we're gonna go try and find his father, Doc. A very dangerous area.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Seamus to do some pathing here, so it's not super important to be efficient about movement. So Seamus is going to come over to this door over here, and this is as far as Seamus will go. But yeah, and there is the next area, and he also gives us a badge, the Outsider's badge, which will signal to Doc that we are friend. And that brings us on to chapter 7, which is Dead End. So this chapter consists of a few different parts. The first part's going to be a chase segment. You've got these Zerk, which is going to mostly just meow, throw them off, and just again path efficiently from the beginning to the end. Thanks to the macro, just like not even slowing us down at all when the Zerk land on us. We can just pretty much just run straight through packs of Zerk without any issues.
Yeah, normally they jump on you and the screen kind of goes red and
yeah.
Slows you down to like a crawl as well until you get them all off.
Yeah, even when using like a mouse wheel, like you still like slow down significantly just for a moment, and that's still enough to make it worth going a different way, but it just saves time just running straight through them. A little bit of an automatic section here with a cart. A little bit more environmental storytelling. No,
resilient.
Was that the second life used?
It is. We're 2 down now.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And we hobbling. We hobbling. Fine. We get out the magic sponge, but since we don't have a sponge, we'll get out the magic tongue. Nom, nom, nom.
So a little clean.
There you go. All better.
Oh, look at Ted's little paws.
I saw how popular Ted commentary was earlier with ARG, so I brought CBK on to give us this one.
That was great.
We're going to come up around the back of the house here. We're going to jump into the window. This is Doc's house.
You see he's got some Zerk caged there.
And if anyone didn't get the reference earlier when they saw Seamus, you'll probably get it now. Doc might look quite familiar to some of you. Any movie fans out there?
So we're told in the dialogue that Doc's been here ages and he's came here to test his defluxer, but it didn't go as planned. So he needs a 1.21 gigawatts of power to, I believe, bring the defluxer back or make work again. You can use it.
Yeah, unfortunately the generator is outside, so he's not been able to go outside and turn the generator on. So that's a job for us. Yeah.
Of course, you trust a cat with these kind of things.
Poor cat doing all these jobs.
So he's kind of been surrounded by the Zerk, and that's why he's been unable to go back to the slums or unable to do anything, because he's just been holed up inside the house. So by turning the generator on, he activates the defluxer. And we see it just like exploding the Zerk. So he's going to cover us while we make our way back into the house. Not doing a particularly good job of covering us because we're so fast, but you know, there we go. And yeah, Doc decides to build the defluxer into B12. And that's going to give us a weapon that we can use against the Zerk. And that is theoretically going to let us get through the sewers. And that's the entire reason that we came here. Other than to rescue Doc, of course.
That has to be the world's fastest technical miniaturization ever. It's gone from something the size of like a giant flashlight. It's like, oh yeah, we'll just pop it inside this tiny drone.
Yeah, they should really just have the giant flashlight just like soldered onto the top of B12.
So the defluxer, I believe, lasts 3 seconds of usable time to attack Zerks with the light, and if you overheat, it takes 5 seconds to recover. So gotta be careful.
One of the hardest things, pretty much the only point where we're going to really struggle to keep the defluxer from overheating is coming up in a second. Where if I get this wrong,
pretty much the only point in the room where we really need to use it is just in dead end here. So we're gonna get this kind of pattern of gameplay quite a bit throughout this game, where the larger NPC that we're escorting can't get through a door, so we have to go and open the door from the other side. So we've got to do this barrel puzzle to get up to a little vent that'll let us get in and open that door for Doc. And oh boy, it sure would be a terrible thing if Doc were to, like, I don't know, be attacked while we were in here opening that door, wouldn't it? Like, that'd be just awful. It'd be really unlucky as well.
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. Oh, Doc!
Can't leave him for a second.
Oh, I can't leave for a second, exactly. So here, very efficiently taking out the Zerk. Very easy to get overrun there as well. So we've got to take out all the Zerk before we can carry on.
Ooh, that was close.
Yeah. You want to keep all the Zerk on one side of you, because otherwise the deflector is really, like, difficult to be efficient with.
No, wait, we have fun with physics.
No, we have fun with physics, because this is Unreal Engine, I think, isn't it? And yeah, boxes kind of just like phase into one another and just go flying or do weird things when you push them into things. Physics is great.
I like physics.
Love physics. In fact, we've had quite a few things happen with these boxes. We've had them just blast off into space. We've had them just like clip into the floor. I think this will be fairly tame. That's fine.
Ah, gonna bring the box with him. Yay!
Liberate box.
Oh, I love it.
And with that, we are back in the slums, and Doc has returned. Rejoice!
Reunited with the sun.
Hallelujah.
Aww.
heart face.
I love the little companions. Like,
Yeah,
this is so cute.
so good how they show emotion with their face as well. Like if you meow next to one, it just becomes a smiley face.
Yeah.
It's a really cute game. So yeah, with the power of the Defluxor, the Guardian opens up the way down into the sewers, so we can go down there. And Momo is going to be waiting for us down here on a little boat to take us into the depths of the sewers. to go and find the other outsiders. So now I've met 2 of them.
We're gonna be looking for Clementine and is it Balthazar? Yeah, Balthazar.
Balthazar, which is a very fun word to say.
Oh yes.
So the sewers largely consists of sections of just sitting on the boat and waiting for the boat to get to places. So this might also be a very good time for donations if there are any in.
There haven't been any more donations just yet, but do remember, if you do want to donate, all you need to do is ! donate in the chat. We are trying to raise money for the fantastic Great Ormond Street Hospital. They themselves are trying to help children and young people who are critically ill with incredibly complex illnesses. So if you would like to help people get treated for the illnesses that they have, all you need to do is ! donate in the chat. Without your donations, they will not be able to do the fantastic work that they do. So every little helps.
Thank you very much for that. Alright, so now we're coming up to the first section of the sewers where Huds actually needs to do something. So again, we're going to come up to a gate, and we need to go onto the other side of it to open it up. So fortunately, we can just slip through the bars of the gate and come around up to activate the lever. There's a bunch of like weird Zerk pod things here. These like little egg sacs explode into Zerk, which are a little bit disgusting, frankly. Now let's just get back on the boat and I'll nod to the next area.
While we're doing that, I'm gonna let Ted out.
No,
Again, another nice long area where we've got to wait to get to the next little pier.
so the
yeah,
speedrunning. Sorry, go ahead, Minez.
I'll go for it.
I was gonna say the speedrunning board for this is was quite popular when this game released. Understandably, it's cat game after all, and there's a glitch and glitchless board. I understand.
Yes, so there is a glitched run for this that is significantly shorter than glitchless, because it skips a lot of the acts that we've already seen. So pretty much the first time you get to slums, you can come straight to the sewers. Like you don't need to do rooftops, you don't need to do dead end. So it saves that one skip alone saves like 20 minutes because you just clip through out of bounds and just fall into the sewers. It is incredibly precise and incredibly difficult to pull off. Fairly consistent once you've learned it, but
Favorite of all Sonic speedrunners, it's sub-pixel dependent.
yeah.
I like that in the glitchless run that we get to see all the areas and all the cutscenes. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
So we've reached this gate, and unfortunately the control panel has to actually talk to Momo. There we go. The control panel's exploded, so Momo is going to go over now and lift the gate for us using chains. However, as he lifts them, tells us we're gonna have to go on without him at this point. Into the sewers we venture, and oh my word, it is awful.
Oh dear.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It gets really creepy.
If anyone thought this was a
The
cute cat
sewers
game,
is-
I'm very sorry.
Yeah, the sewers is completely run by the... And this is probably a good time to mention one of the other mods of this game where you can play as Garfield.
Oh god.
Oh no. Where's
Because
my lasagna,
I like to call
Mindez?
this I like to call this particular environmental feature the forbidden lasagna.
Where's my lasagna?
It's in the sewers.
Right.
Okay.
There are quite a few incredibly cursed mods for this game. There's one where you can just play as Shrek as well, which, as you can imagine, is absolutely fantastic.
The Spyro one is pretty cool.
Spyro one's really cool. There's like
We almost
Disney
played with
characters
Spyro.
like Bolt and Marie from Aristocrats. Very cool. The modding community, like pretty much from day one, was immediately importing different cat models.
Oh yeah, so people are like, I want to play with my cat, you know, their own cat. Totally get it.
So here, doing more running through the sewers, again spamming that macro so that the Zerk aren't causing any issues. Here we're going to come up to probably the biggest room in the sewers, because there are switches on either side of this door at the back. And we need to press both of them, but we can't very easily get from one side to the other. So you have to come over here, press the first switch, run all the way back to the entrance of the room. Meanwhile, a bunch of Zerk have spawned on the way because you've passed a bunch of egg sacs. Get around to the other side, and then hit the other switch to proceed.
Very creepy eyes around these levels as well.
Oh yeah.
Like eyeballs.
Oh yeah, this is the room where we get introduced to the giant eyeballs as well, just on the wall for literally no reason. That's never explained why.
Oh.
That's just random.
Yeah, if you're not into eyeballs, you might want to look away for the next minute and a half.
Yeah.
Who's into eyeballs?
This is the eyeball cutscene.
You're right though. We get to this point. There's eyeballs everywhere, like giant eyeballs. It's never explained what they are anywhere in the game, and it's never seen again.
I thought this was going to be some kind of like giant monster, like when I first saw it.
I thought we just reached a boss, you know?
Yeah, like a giant Zerk monster.
Like
That's
no,
just my ball.
no, just have some eyeballs, because you know, why not? Always watching. Where's my lasagna?
So the Zerk here are not happy because we got a little bit too close to their giant eyeball.
That's canon now. That's the reason they're not happy.
Canon, yeah. They really don't like people getting close to their giant eyeball.
Yeah, they're very protective of it.
Yeah, B12. We saw B12 there using the defluxer to try and hit the Zerk away. B12 not very good at regulating the defluxer, so overheats, and we now need to carry him in our mouth over to the exit after another Zerk chase here. Again, just pathing efficiently through these Zerk clusters, and not even particularly worrying about it because of the macro.
Oh, B12.
Yeah.
Cat slap.
Yeah. We've repaired B12 by just batting it. Batting him, I guess.
It's the cat method, you know? Just slap it.
Best way to deal with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the cat equivalent of hitting the side of the TV because you got no signal. Remember those days? Back before digital TV. Gonna squeeze through this gap, and we are finally out of the sewers, and we reach salvation here at the Ant Village.
This is quite a nice area.
And here we get a big story point, a big story drop. CBK, just now.
So the cutscene tells us that B12 sees this machine, and he recollects that the scientist B12 once assisted. Sorry. I'll try to read this. Sorry. So B12 recalls that he was sick, and this was his last hope as he was alone. He uploaded himself to the computer, and then everything was different. But the upload went wrong, and he was stuck in the computer for hundreds of years until a cat appeared, which is us. And B12 remembers that he was this human scientist. and his consciousness was uploaded into B12. So yeah, B12 was once a human.
So that was Baltazar that we just met. And he tells us that Clementine's in Midtown. She basically had a plan to leave the city and has handed us a picture with Clementine's address on it. We're going to continue climbing up through the ant village here. Head towards the exit. Just a little bit in front of us. The ant village done.
Yeah, and that's 3 out of 4 outsiders met, and just Clementine to go. The ant village also a little bit of a kind of semi-open world area with a few little like optional quests and stuff to do. But again, if for efficiency, we're just going to climb straight to the top and move on to probably the biggest chapter of the game, which is Midtown.
So this one's also been recently rerouted. There's a section in the middle. We'll talk you through it when we get there. Or I won't, Mindez will, because I'm going to be concentrating. But the timing on it is incredibly tight as a result, but it saves around about 10. But meanwhile, we're here at the subway. B12's telling us that he used to take the subway every morning. Was doing this for his family, wanted to see the outside. And he suggests that we show the picture of Clementine to companions in Midtown. Find out where she is. But we don't need to do that because we know where she is.
Yep. And Midtown is a stark difference from the slums. It's another open world area, but we're going to see like a full-on community, like a basically thriving community that's got like shops and like all kinds of like nightclubs and apartment buildings and like a police force. And it's a striking difference from the kind of like impoverished slums that we were before. So we come straight back here to the apartment buildings and go straight to Clementine. Now, as I said, there is a massive route change here. So we used to do on the way to Clementine. But now we've kind of like put those off until later as we've come to understand more about the exact triggers that happen in this area. So we're going to come up to Clementine first of all because the very first thing that we want to trigger is an NPC. That's our top priority. We need an NPC to wake up, which we'll do straight after talking to Clementine here. Meanwhile, as we're doing Clementine's house, we're going to open this drawer up here. That's for later. And we're going to see that Clementine is one of the outsiders, pretty much like Midtown's most wanted, so very much being sought after by the police at the moment. On the way down from Clementine's flat, usually at that point we would do the security cameras, but instead we're going to come over here and wake up this NPC over here. So this is the major route change because we found out that most of the actual like stuff that we need to do is gated by how fast this NPC walks. So by waking up earlier and then doing the side quest stuff, we actually save a good chunk of time on just his pathing. So we're going to come over here and we're going to destroy some security cameras because these youths that have been set up to spy on these youths down here. That will reward us with a cassette tape. And the next part of Midtown requires us to collect a couple of items. So we need a hard hat and a high-vis jacket. And
okay, we should be good on time.
oh, so there's the NPC. There's the NPC that's just pathing now, and he's just in the right place, I think.
Need to wait for him to go over and start to go.
Yep. So some obnoxiously loud music coming up. There we go.
Grab the jacket. Yeah,
That genuinely is the loudest that this music gets.
Oh,
and,
that was so tight on time. Oh, that was close.
Just make it in the box with like a second to spare. Yeah, so as the new reroute makes that very, very tight as far as like getting into that box before he picks up the box and walks into the building. Otherwise, you have to wait for him to pick up the box, walk into the building, come out again, pick up another box. So that's a major time loss if you don't get that first cycle there. And the reroute has made that cycle incredibly tight to get. So now we have the high-vis jacket and the hard hat. Can sorry.
This is Blazer. This is Clementine's informant. So we're giving
Yeah,
him.
so he's going to dress up as a factory worker and carry us inside a box into the factory to get a battery, which we're going to use to basically power up the subway and try and get to the outside world that way. Is he here? Just a box? Just a standard box, yep.
Nothing inside.
Nothing inside. It's fine. Ah, yes, this looks like a box.
Why did you just look at the outside of the box?
Especially when there's a flap open on it, like...
Yeah.
Okay, so the factory is a kind of stealth section, but, I mean, this is a speedrun. We don't care about stealth, right? So pretty much just going to aggravate these drone robots. Should be able to make it...
Oh.
That can happen.
Sometimes can just get hit off before before getting into that door there. Usually can just run past those drones, but unfortunately, yeah, there is a very small chance. I think it's about 1% of.
You would. You would. Okay, there we go.
Alright, getting past them and going through this next area. That drone looks away just in time. What we're going to try and do here is activate the switch and then get back on that momentum thing before it goes back. Perfect. That saves a lot of time with running all the way around. These drones don't matter. We can just run straight past them because by the time they even realize that they've seen the cat, we're already out of there. Pretty much same with these drones as well. Just going to run straight through them. Oh, that one didn't even go red. And then we're gonna get in this barrel and just go through these lasers here, because, you know, if you're in a barrel, the lasers won't trip, right? I don't know how that works.
Laser barrel.
And there's a little puzzle here to get something on these 3 pressure pads. So we've got these like robot printer things that we're not quite sure what they are. I think they're like robot printers or something, but
yeah, I thought they were printers.
we can
I thought they
activate
were
them.
still using printers.
Yeah. It's like just a laser jet printer.
That moves.
Yeah.
Handy, a portable one.
Very efficient, yeah.
I need to find out what they are. They've got Wi-Fi on the back as well, like, or at least Wi-Fi antennas. Like, come on.
Yeah, of course they do. They're wireless printers.
You might want to print on the go.
This is going to be hundreds of years in the future.
They still want to print things.
Well, they would have, you know, got past
look,
antennas.
I mean, printer technology will never advance beyond 1995. We know this.
And they still never work.
Yeah. So with the battery, we can now go back to Midtown, and we're going to take the battery over to Clementine, who has a plan to use the subway. Unfortunately, things have changed since we've been in the factory. So as we get back, we've realized that the apartment is under lockdown, and they've actually all kinds of enforcers inside the apartment building.
Peacekeepers. Remember, they're here to keep the peace, not to enforce punishment.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Here.
Yep. Again, just happily running through the drones like visibility thing, because the drones really are like completely useless if you're running fast enough. Getting very good luck on entering the building there, so there can be a peacekeeper in front of the door that patrols back and forth. Not getting seen by that saves a bit of time, because otherwise you have to kind of reload the area to make them go away. And we're going to find 4 notes that Clementine has left lying around the apartment. And those are going to be combined to tell us to go to the nightclub, which is where Clementine has gone to, I guess, lie low for a bit.
Look at that lark. Beautiful.
Yeah, peacekeeper not there on the way in or on the way out.
From what I've read about the development of this game, is that kind of these streets and areas are inspired a lot by Hong Kong. It's actually a particular area in Hong Kong.
Hmm.
Interesting. There's like small streets, and the building structures.
Yeah, it's inspired by Kowloon Walled City, which is an actual like fully like incredibly densely packed like vertical city in Hong Kong, and it was like it sounds like it was an absolute like cesspit of just like all the problems you get with like massive overcrowding and overpopulation and just hazards everywhere. And yeah, it's kind of creepy to look into it, honestly. Very cool, like very interesting, but incredibly just like inhumane.
Yeah.
See Blazer upstairs. I'm wandering off to a back room. We're gonna go and follow him. I know what he's up.
Yeah, I'm sure he's just you know, helping Clementine, right? What? Clementine has been kidnapped.
Traitor.
Blazer, help us!
Little sweat mark.
Yeah, Blazer turns out to be a traitor, and has
Monologues to a
Clementine.
cat. I just want to point this out. Monologues about his evil plans to a cat.
Maybe he doesn't know what a cat is.
I mean, he's got to do the monologue.
Yeah, you gotta do it to someone.
All evil villains got to do the monologue.
Okay, so a little bit of speed tech there. Restarting from checkpoint the moment jail loads, which is our next level. The reason for that is we are currently stuck in a cage, and by reloading it, it allows me to actually get this thing swinging before the like the black fades up.
Yeah, so we've been taken to jail, and what I really like the environmental storytelling in jail in particular, because like they put you in just a cage dangling above a pit, and it's very clear that this place is not designed to house like cats, because pretty much all the bars that we're going to run through are just like too wide for like to keep cats inside. So it's just really good environmental storytelling, I think, this whole area. We're gonna see some guards patrolling, and we're gonna go and find Clementine.
Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me.
Oh, this is another 1% chance. Yep, there we go.
Oh dear.
So here's Clementine's cell. We can't actually understand the companions at this point because B12 has also been imprisoned. So yeah, but we do see Clementine pointing towards a set of keys, which we obviously take to mean that those keys are unimportant. Don't bother getting them. But we go and get them anyway. Again, just going through these barred windows because, like, again, we're a cat. We can go through those things.
Clementine there using the power of the Force. Bring the keys to a hand.
Yep.
Released from jail. And of course the sentinels over there have no idea what's going on.
Yep.
All this technology.
It's a shame they didn't equip the sentinels with microphones.
This noise. Freaky old prison. Come on, Clementine. In you come.
So yeah, the jail is pretty much going to play out as a bit of an escort mission. So there's some doors that only Clementine can open. There's some doors that only B12 can open when we get him, and obviously there's some doors that we're going to have to go around and open from the other side. So we need to get all three of our friends here. So we've got Clementine, who's going to work on looking for a way out. In the meantime, we spot B12.
He's trapped.
All the meowing. So B12 is also imprisoned, and this is going to bring us to probably what is the like actual stealthiest part of this run, because we do actually there is actually something that we actually need to avoid getting seen by.
And yet still going to try and do this fast. This is probably, I know we've already died once in this, like we got a bit unlucky in the factory. This is probably the biggest run killer when it comes to speedrun. In really hard strat coming up that I'm going to be attempting here. We shall see.
Absolutely, there's quite a few interesting strategies in this particular section that I'll talk about. So yeah, as I say, this is meant to be a stealth section. You're meant to kind of avoid the sentinels as they're looking around. We've got to take it high to go over those lasers, which do actually knock you back. So we're going to be going over this one. So as long as that laser is moving towards you, you can go straight over it, which is great. This sentinel is best to not get seen by. And then we're going to make a trip over there. Again, that getting really good RNG with where these lasers are positioned. So this cutscene here, you don't actually lose control of the cat during that cutscene. So you can see Huds is still running towards B12 even during the cutscene, which is just funny.
That's amazing.
Like, they just didn't remove control of the cat.
The sentinels don't react to you during it, which is brilliant.
Yep. So we can just skip that entire stealth section, get B12, and run straight out. Again, looks very, very, very smooth, that part, but there is a lot of tech that goes into that.
Just tricky, especially with the camera changes, like your directions in terms of which way you need to push the cat changes with it, which makes it a little bit tricky. So yeah, that's the fast B12 strat. Now we're going to be going for fast Clem here. Knocked over these bricks. Clem's going to pick one of these up and go, ooh, bricks. I think we can use this. But first, let's smash some windows.
Yep, Clem just being a vandal. Sees a brick and just like, you know what, I could smash this window. Yeah!
Okay. Going to be attempting a strategy to get up through that window.
Yeah. Oh, so as Clem goes down, oh, not managing it.
That's okay. Saves a couple of seconds.
Yeah, it saves a couple of seconds. You can jump onto and off of Clem as she's going down, rather than having to wait for her to stand up again. But it is pretty tight to get, so it's not consistent by any means. And now we have the jail, yard sections. So in each of these yard sections, we need to lure some sentinels over to these side rooms and then lock the door as they come in. This first one's not too bad. So you can just lure the sentinel in. Second one is a bit of a run killer. Because it's pretty RNG as to where the sentinels start. So what Hud's going to try and do is lure both of the sentinels, run into the side room, close the door, so it shuts just as the sentinels are coming in, and then probably use the pillars to avoid getting shot before running out. So we'll see how well that plays out. But there is quite a bit of improvisation in this, just because of it's a little bit random as to where those sentinels start out exactly.
Okay.
Oh, one of them didn't quite see. Right, yep, going in, shutting the door, using the pillars, running back out, and that is perfect.
Really worried because the other one started shooting me. I was really worried it wouldn't follow me in, which can occasionally happen. Then you end up with one inside, one outside, and then we'd figure it out from there, really.
Yeah. Just got really unlucky with that first sentinel not seeing him for some reason, even though we were definitely within that range, but sure. Just doing straight things.
I think he's just too fast for.
I feel like I've spoken a lot during this particular section, but that's because this is a very strat heavy chapter in particular. So the final strat here is the fast van. So we're gonna see Clem get into this van here, and we're gonna need to go and open the door so that we can drive off. So to do that, we need to come around here and activate this switch. Now, as soon as this switch activates, we're going to get under attack from some sentinels, and we need to go around, run onto the van as fast as possible. Now, the cutscene for the next area begins as soon as the cat jumps on the van. So if you can jump on the van slightly earlier than intended, the cutscene just triggers and we can leave, and it saves a decent chunk of time, like I think about 5 or 10 seconds or so. So clipping the corner really fast, really fine there, letting the jump, just about getting onto the corner of the van there, and then the cutscene triggers and we're off.
Not only is Fast Van about a 10-second time save, it also mitigates any potential chance of being shot by those sentinels as we're chasing the van. What's meant to happen is that you chase the van down that tunnel and the sentinels will be shooting at you, so you've got to dodge them while trying to catch up to it. Like I say, the best you can get, it takes roughly 10 seconds longer than just getting Fast Van. And there's a tiny window, it's a fraction of a second, where you can get just close enough to trigger the jump prompt for the van. The Clementine now giving us the subway key, locking the subway doors behind, and is going to get back in the van, lead the sentinels away from us, and basically tells us to continue on without her, to go and open up the walled city. So we're going to come back down all the way back to where we started after Ant Village, here in the subway, all the way back to the very beginning, where we're going to remember that battery we got in the factory. We're going to go and pop that one into the wall and power up the subway.
Yeah, and I like, this is the part where I really love the music of this game. I just love the music in this particular section. It's really good.
See this giant power cable transferring all that power, definitely safe, towards the sub. Come in, we're going to use that subway key that Clem gave us. Pop it in the controls. Here we go.
Drive a train.
Yep, fortunately, our cat has the skills to drive a train. I imagine B12 may be helping a little bit, but, you know, I think it's mostly the cat.
Amazed that it still works after all this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
London Underground could learn a thing or two. So as we wait for the subway cart to come to a stop, Matt, if you got any messages, now's a great time. We've got about 30 seconds.
No donations, unfortunately, but remember, in these final minutes of the run, do be reminded that you can donate with !donate. I will read out any messages at the end of the run, so please do donate to Great Ormond Street Hospital if you can.
Very much. Here we are heading up to the control room.
Yeah, so this is the control room. As you can see, the area is looking a lot cleaner than like all the other areas we've been to so far. This place is actually maintained. It's got maintenance robots that are painting the walls and just tidying up, and yeah, this place seems to be completely untouched by the horrors that we've experienced in the city below. So we're gonna open this door very quickly by activating the panel on the right, then the panel on the left, lowering the printer over as we do so. And yeah, this is the scene of the final scene in the game, the control room.
In the dialogue, B12 is telling us how he remembers hating the people in the control room. They had everything, they had power, freedom, but little good it did them in the end. And there's revealed there was a plague, and everyone was dying, and the people in the control room didn't help at all. And he watched his family die, he felt helpless. But he can still help us.
Yeah, so to do that, we're going to turn all these computers on, and we're going to have to hack into 3 of the terminals. As B12 reveals that his mission is to ensure that the city is opened. So this is how cats hack, by the way. You just kind of open a panel and just like scratch at the wires. That's how I hack as well, honestly.
Pretty normal.
Yep. So the cat is definitely going to be getting a job as an IT security professional after this.
Perfect movement during the cutscene as well. Already in position for... That's another tricky little bit of off-screen movement tech.
Yeah, these are the other cutscenes in the game where you don't lose control of the cat while the cutscenes are playing. Which is just funny. And here's the final terminal. Again, just gonna, in the cabinet, scratch at some wires. As we prepare for the final cutscene. B12 taking the power of all that hacking he's been doing, overexerting himself. We have to drag him over to the final terminal over here.
So it's at this point, B12 tells us that he knew the power required would be more than his little drone body could handle, and that unlocking this system is going to destroy his memory. And he tells us that the future of the world is in the companions, and us the cat. Finally shut off the system. Falls to the floor.
No.
B12, no!
I cry every time.
Let me just curl up with B12, which is so cute.
Oh. Bless.
And meanwhile, out in the wall city outside, the sky begins to open.
Beautiful.
One of the things I really like about this game, particularly with the Zerk, obviously the Defluxor was basically just a UV light, which indicates just how little light they got in this wall city. So the power of the actual sun, coming down with the UV rays, obviously just destroying the Zerk on contact.
Yeah, they're free. Momo.
Really amazing is after this, you can actually stand by that window and look out. You can see the entirety of Walled City 99. You can see this area, you can see all the little areas we've been in. It is all one big city, one continuous thing. You can see from the slums up to Midtown, everywhere. It really is incredible. And you can watch the roof open entirely. So it does take a couple of minutes for it to... we, of course, are speedrunning. We don't have time for that, I'm afraid. But, as we...
Yeah, something's happening. Something's happening outside the window. Something must be the weather. Whatever. Let's just leave.
So as we finish off, we're going to come down the stairs out of the control room, and the city is open once again. As the doors open, we're going to be heading towards our escape. Time's going to be coming up very soon. But yeah, this is the point where I want to tell you, if you enjoyed this game, we've shown you barely a fraction of the lore of this game, of what's available in it, all the little side quests and stuff, please go and buy it and support the developers. It really is an incredible game. Yeah, time's going to come as soon as we get to the top of the stairs and it fades out. So it's in roughly about 5 seconds. And time.
GG.
3 once again.
Sniffs.
Sniffs.
The cat does the sniffs.
No snoops.
And hopefully reunite with his little cat family.
Yeah.
Nice little ending cut. Yeah, that is Stray. That's the any percent PC Glitchless category. This game is available on PS4, PS5, and PC. Developed by Blue 12 Studios, where B12 comes from, and published by Annapurna Interactive. It is honestly a wonderful game. Lots of lore, lots to explore, plenty of side quests as well. Yeah, if I really hope you enjoyed that. It's a very chill run, but a very fun one to do as well. It's certainly one that I really enjoy doing. First off, I want to say a massive thank you to my two commentators, to Mindez and to CBK. Thank you both so much for commentating this run. Starting with you, Mindez, if you want to plug yourself and your channel, please go ahead.
It is always a pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me onto these stray runs. But yes, I am Mindez. I am a variety streamer. I mostly do randomizers and cute, chill content like puzzles and stuff. So yeah, you can find me at twitch.tv/Mindezzy.
CBK.
Oh, yeah, I'm usually a Sonic speedrunner, but I love cats and I love Stray, so thank you so much, Hud, for having me on for commentary. It's great.
My absolute pleasure. Yeah, CBK is also our wonderful emote artist, does all my Ted emotes and my Alfie emotes, my two cats. You obviously saw Ted earlier and we were playing as Alfie here. I am also normally a Sonic speedrunner. So if you want to come and see me do the go fast, like earlier with the race with Argic, come drop me a follow over at twitch.tv/HUDS601. But that's going to be all from us here with this run. Matt, I'm going to hand it back to you to close off day one.
I think there is no better way to close off day one than one of the donations that we received in the final minutes of the speedrun. Ben in Sweden says, cat. And yes, cat. That was the cat speedrun.
Perfect, Ben.
Thank you so much to everyone that's still watching, and thank you to everyone that has watched throughout the day and donated. It's been an absolutely incredible first day, but that's the end. That's it, I'm afraid. You should go away, go to bed, sleep, and then come back at exactly noon British time, GMT, tomorrow, because we'll be starting up again with even more speedruns through the day. So hopefully see you all then. But that's also it from me. I'll leave you with the intermission screen for a few minutes, but really, go to bed.